going to go ahead and go through each principle. There are 7 principles, and the first day is, and what do you say?
First day, what we do is we call out, I want to give you some African concepts. Let me hear you say Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
Does anyone know what Habari Gani means? Swahili. So you're learning Swahili tonight. Habari Gani is what is the news.
What is the news?
So we'll say Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
Habari Gani. The word for the day is Ujamaa. Let me hear you say Ujamaa.
Ujamaa.
Ujamaa, which is unity. Unity. Go.
Yes, in unity, of course, you can see the significance of a people that were dispersed all around the world. Now imagine that. That means that wherever you arrived, wherever the boat took you, those people didn't look like you, they didn't speak your language, they didn't worship your faith. None of the things that you used to survive, this was a new world. And so now all of a sudden, nowadays, for black people to come back together, and we know that I think the last full-blood black person born in this country was about in the 1600s. And so now, even our president, Barack Obama, is a biracial person. And so black people, African Americans, we know that our family is broad. And so unity is for us to gather, everyone together, for the common good. Sounds like the United States of America, doesn't it?
And the next day we call out Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
Habari Gani. The word of the day is Kuji Chagalia. Let me hear you say Kuji Chagalia.
Kuji Chagalia.
Which means self-determination.
So self-determination, today we know the economy, the traditional jobs, a lot of people are laid off, aren't they? What used to work, a lot of your parents and grandparents, for some of you grandparents, that job that they had for 50 years and you get the gold watch, that doesn't happen anymore. But people who are self-determined know how to retool themselves for what's going on currently. So one of the reasons that nowadays in America, when Koreans and Asians and Africans and Jamaicans come here, they are used to having their own businesses. They'll go to a street corner and they'll set up a business because they have self-determination. And that is something that the African American people need to regain. By the way, when we were in Africa, we did the same thing.
And the next day we call out Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
And the word of the day is Ujima. Let me hear you say Ujima.
Ujima.
Collective work and responsibility.
And again, no man, human, is an island. And we know that we have to work together. And so the whole thing of collective work and taking responsibility, not the way Bill Cosby said it, blaming people for their poverty, but the collective responsibility is that you can say, you, no matter what you think of me or what you call me, you do not determine who I am. So for people to feel good about themselves, because in some traditions you are here, therefore you are.
Call out again. Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
And the word for the day is Ujamaa. Let me hear you say Ujamaa.
Ujamaa.
Cooperative economics.
And again, that kind of goes right back to that theme. Right now what they're trying to do is people who are wealthy should pay more taxes. Imagine that. Some of you may not agree with that. One of the things that I loved last night, I heard an economist, or she's a wealthy person, Suze Orman, said that she's a wealthy person and the bills have to be paid. And one of the things that's not said is that if we don't pay the bills, if we don't take care of the society, if middle class and poor people continue to go down, 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 eventually that is going to affect wealthy people. So actually, if you don't care about your fellow man, if you're smart, you'll do it for yourself. So those that have more is expected.
And we call out again Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
And the word for the day is Nia. Let me hear you say Nia.
Nia.
Let me give you a quick synopsis of Nia. Nia means purpose. Purpose. I am a proud diasporan African American man. My ancestors come from the coast through a decadent institution known as slavery. We've had to overcome the obstacles of shackles around our neck and our feet in order for us to be the way we are today. Not a perfect form, but it is a purpose. Nia.
And the purpose, there isn't anywhere or anything I can tell you, especially if you know your history. Where's our history professor? Anywhere you go in this country and it looks good and it's solid, it was built on the backs of African slaves, I guarantee you. Including all of those buildings in Washington, D.C. They're now the Parks Department is really going back and looking at many of the battlegrounds and Gettysburg and all these beautiful places. But what they forget to tell you is they were built by African slaves who were carpenters, tool and iron workers. All of this beautiful work, the monuments around this country. So maybe our purpose was to come and take this wilderness of America and make it the country that we all deserve to live in today. Purpose.
It's called again Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
And the word for the day is Kuumba. Let me hear you say Kuumba.
Kuumba.
Kuumba, which means creativity.
And need I say more? Look around this room. I think it's wonderful, the Festivus, because human beings can do anything we want to do once we make up our mind. We come up with an idea and then we can share it with everyone. So that is definitely creative. All of these tables are creative. But I'll tell you, I have to say, as a 64-year-old grandma, the best creative creatures in this room are the children. Just look at those beautiful children. They're perfect. They're absolutely perfect.
And the last day, we're going to call out Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
And the word for the day is Imani. Let me hear you say Imani.
Imani.
Imani, which means faith.
Faith. Now, Mr. Powell talked about all the different faith traditions and principles and values, but this is what I will say to you. For me, a Baptist, and I can tell you jokes about that, but I won't do it today. My mother used to say that real black people were Baptists, and I believed that for a long time. But anyway, I will say this to all young people. Human beings will disappoint you and will fail you, because that is the way human beings are. You must believe in something greater than man, because in those dark times, when you're down, your best friend or your mother or your husband, your wife, your lover didn't show up, didn't come through for you, if you believe in something greater than man, you will never be alone. So faith means everything.
Now for the last thing we're going to do, we're going to use the word named Harambe. Let me hear you say Harambe.
Harambe.
Again.
Harambe.
I want everyone to raise their right arm. Okay, we're going to pull down Harambe 7 times. Harambe. 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 Long one. Harambe. That means pulling it together. Normally what we do is we light a candle for each day, but due to fire codes, we didn't light a candle tonight,
No,
right?
we didn't.
Okay?
But just because, but we are going to say we would light the black, which one? Black candle, because of course it represents the people. And then we would talk about the first day. And then we would light
The green candle.
the green candle, and we would talk about the second day. And then we would go to the red, and then the green, and then the red, and then the green, and then the red, and you would have all the days lit. So in the real family Kwanzaa celebration, on the first day, you light the black candle, and that's the only one you light. And then the next day, you light the second candle, and so forth. And so this is a Kwanzaa celebration. It is an African-American celebration, the 7 principles of the Nguzo Sala, and this Swahili, because and one of the reasons that Dr. Milo Makarenja picked Swahili is that it is one of the most popular, well-spoken languages of the African continent. Africa is not a country, it's a continent. Thank you very much for being so attentive, and I hope you will enjoy other Kwanzaa celebrations. Thank you.